104.5 The Team, your home for New York sports. Big game yesterday. Goz and I both have full heads of hair, so it didn't go the way we hoped it would go. But the man on the call for ESPN3 for UAlbany versus Maryland was Kelly O'Donnell. He joins us now. Kelly, first of all, welcome to the show. It's been a minute.
Thank you very much, my friends. Happy to be on.
Now, you're finally calling stuff I care about. That's what's going on here.
I knew you were my target audience yesterday.
Well, Kelly, what happened? Why wasn't UAlbany able to get it done against Maryland?
They did a lot of things right, which they needed to do right, but they made just enough mistakes where they weren't able to beat the number 3 team in the country. And Maryland is one of the best, and they have been for a long time. They've been to the national championship game 4 times in the last 6 years. So as good as UAlbany was and is, it was going to be a tall order at the Terrapins, and obviously they came 1 inch away. But as far as breaking down what could have gone differently for UAlbany, they gave up way too many goals in the final 2 minutes of the quarter. It happened at the end of the first quarter. It happened just before halftime. It got them again just at the end of the third quarter. And you stop 1 or 2 of those, and it's a different game.
Maryland, a top 3 team, but from what I watched, and I might be a bit biased because I was born and raised in Syracuse. You're a Syracuse grad. Is this Terrapin team actually better than the Syracuse Orange, and should they be the number 1 team in the country?
Boy, you can make that argument. Maryland, though, they've had a couple of games where they didn't play as well as they're capable of playing. They lost to Notre Dame earlier this season and scored only 4 goals in that 5-4 loss. And then they picked up a second loss on the season right around when they were supposed to play UAlbany the first time back in March. And so we've seen them play like a team that can get back to the national championship game, but then we've seen them play at a level not quite that good. So I certainly think this is a national championship caliber team, but UAlbany can say the same thing, and that was a point that Scott Marr really drove home when we spoke a couple of days ago, the head coach of the Great Danes, and that is this is a matchup of 2 teams that both think they can win a national championship, and I think what we saw yesterday just reinforces that idea.
Kelly O'Donnell with us right now. He was on the call for UAlbany versus Maryland, the cross game that we were all waiting to check out, and it lived up to the billing. But, Kelly, when you compare this UAlbany team to the past ones, the ones with the Thompsons on it, is this the best one we've seen even without a Thompson on the roster?
Believe it or not, I think it is. And, you lose the Thompsons, you lose Blaze Reardon, who is an All-American goalie, but you've got Connor Fields, who's the top goal scorer in the country. You've got a redshirt junior in the cage now, J.D. Colarusso, who is also doing things that maybe he wasn't, not Blaze Reardon yet, but certainly has shown the potential to play at that level. But the X factor is at the X. And I know you guys had a chance to watch him yesterday, and I'm just so impressed by T.D. Earlin and what he's done, the freshman out of Victor, New York, handling face-offs for UAlbany this season. He's number 2 in the country right now with the draw. And he's getting UAlbany so many extra possessions that they never had in the past. They've never had a guy that can do what he can do at the face-off circle, and that position is just so important in lacrosse that he's the difference maker for this UAlbany team.
Kelly, it seemed like this was the first time he was really, really tested, too. Like, is this the kind of thing they're going to see more as they go deeper?
Yeah, Maryland has the ability to throw different guys at you in the action. Sometimes it's all about matchups and then compensating. So, they started with Austin Henningsen, who's been very successful this season. Earlin was able to get to him early, so they threw the senior John Greeno Jr. at him, and Greeno won a few face-offs in a row, but by the fourth quarter, Earlin was able to adapt, and then he started dominating once again. So, ultimately, UAlbany won more draws than Maryland did yesterday, and they needed to have a chance to win the game, and the numbers weren't quite as skewed in UAlbany's favor as we've seen in other games, but that's just a testament to what Maryland can do with the draw. So I don't think it's a matter of people figuring him out. I think it's just when you put somebody else who is also top tier against him, it might take him a little bit longer, and he might only be winning 60% of the draws instead of 75%, but he's still going to give UAlbany extra possessions every game.
It may be tough to kind of nitpick here with the UAlbany team that has 2 losses, and both could be against the top 2 teams in the country, but you have to find a way to get over the hump and try to beat these guys when it comes to postseason play. What does UAlbany need to improve on to get over that hump and maybe take down a Syracuse or Maryland come postseason play?
That's a fair point, because we've seen this UAlbany team into the postseason, into the quarterfinals, have an opportunity to get to the semifinals, and they've been just short so many times, and you really want to see that one signature win. And that's not to say that UAlbany hasn't beaten some top 10 teams in the past, because they have, but that win that really proves that it isn't just a team that has the potential to be in the Final Four, but maybe expects to be in the Final Four, and that perception can mean a lot, especially when it comes to seeding, too, and whether or not UAlbany deserves and ultimately earns a home playoff game, and it remains to be seen what they do the rest of this season. I think this team is playing with so much confidence right now. I really don't think that what happened yesterday is going to deflate them, so I don't think there's necessarily a magic answer to figure it out. I think it's just stay the course, keep doing what they're doing, and I think they're going to end up with that big win sometime in the near future, hopefully in the playoffs this year.
You brought up the possibility of a home playoff game. What was that crowd like yesterday? Even though it's a 4 o'clock face-off, it seemed like a really good environment there.
It was, yeah, 3,000 plus at Casey Stadium. Maryland, did a nice job representing. It was just a fun atmosphere to be there and be a part of it, and it's great to see the UAlbany faithful buying into this team as they should be, and the team obviously deserves it. So if they get a chance to put on a show in the postseason, you can be sure that UAlbany is going to support them.
All right, so next Saturday, Kelly O'Donnell with us right now. You were on the call yesterday. We're going to be there tailgating before the Yale game. How important is that game?
Yeah, Yale, and I'll tell you what, don't overlook the Binghamton game, too, because before Yale, they've got to get by Binghamton, and the Bearcats are 20th in the country, undefeated in conference play, just one loss on the season, ranked for the first time in 11 years. So they got to bounce back from this Maryland game quickly. They can't feel sorry about them, about the way it went down, because obviously they played incredibly well and should be proud of that. So they've got to get through Binghamton, then they've got to try and run the table against Yale and Hartford, and those two games, those three games are going to determine, whether or not UAlbany truly has the right to host a playoff game.
Kelly O'Donnell, we appreciate your time. It was a great call yesterday for UAlbany versus Maryland, and we look forward to hearing more. And hey, Goz said he's going to buy us all drinks, so let's all get together.
Okay, I guess.
Terrific. And guys, I got to tell you a quick story. This game was originally supposed to be played back on March 11th, but you might remember it was like 2 degrees outside, and they're like, maybe this isn't the right time to play, an outdoor sport, so they postponed it a month. But that day, I was getting ready for the call. It was like 2 hours before face-off. I'm driving home to change and then go down to the stadium. I'm listening to 104.5 The Team because that's what I listen to in the car. That morning, UAlbany was playing Vermont in men's basketball to try and get to the NCAA tournament. Roger Weiland says the lacrosse game has just been postponed. If I didn't hear Roger say that, I would have gotten changed. I would have gone down to the stadium, and there would not have been lacrosse.
Yeah, well, the plus side, Kelly, Goz and I had taken over the CEFQ Arena. You could have come had a drink with us as we watched the UAlbany men. I would have made Goz pay for that one, too.
Oh, wow. Very nice of you.
Kelly, we appreciate you, man. We look forward to hooking up with you in the near future.
All right, same here. Thanks, guys. I'm heading off to the golf course now. Orchard Creek is calling my name.
Oh, you know what? I did like you.
We'll get out there soon enough.